Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Admission Branch, University of Delhi, I welcome you all to another webinar on ECA and sports admissions at University of Delhi. Today in this webinar, we have been joined by Dr. Anil Kumar Kalkal, Director Physical Education and Sports. Sir, I welcome you in this webinar. We have also been joined by Professor Deepthi Taneja. She's joined in at Culture Council. I welcome you, ma'am. So we had already organized one webinar on sports and ECA admission, but since we were receiving a lot of queries about the trials, the certificates, and how the list will be made and where this list will be available, so we thought to have one more round of webinar. The recording of this webinar will be available on the official YouTube channel of University of Delhi. If participants have any query, they can post it in the chat box, and at the end, I will take it up and post to the both the experts. So now I would request Professor Anil Kumar Kalkal to begin the session with the information on sports admissions. Sir, over to you. Anil sir, can you hear me? So by the time Anil sir will come back, I would just like to tell participants for their benefit that please keep checking the official website of University of Delhi, which is www.admission.eod.ac.in for all updates regarding the schedules and trials which we'll be conducting for sports and ECA. The entire list with the name of venue, the dates, etc., will be available on the website. So I think Professor Kalkal is back. Sir, can you hear me now?
Anand,
Yes, sir.
please.
Sir, so you can begin with the information on the sports admission. So over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to everyone. I welcome you to this session of the webinar of the Delhi University. It's a second webinar on the sports. All the candidates must have filled their application forms by this time. So now we'll be proceeding with the process of the evaluation of the sports certificates, followed by the sports trial. So as far as the process of the sports quota is concerned, we will be very shortly will be uploading the schedule of the sports trials on the DU website. As far as the sports trial is concerned, we have the team games where you will be evaluated on the basis of your fundamental skills. The performance in trials, it would comprise 200 marks for your performance trials, and 200 marks will be the fundamental skills for you, followed by dual and combat sports, which will comprise your total marks of 400 of your performance in sports trial, and same with the individual sports where the performance would be of the 400. The second thing is the candidate will be allowed to appear only in one event or in one category, and the candidate must secure at least 200 marks in a given sports trial to be eligible for the consideration in the combined sports merit. The sports trial will be videographed, and there would be a committee to evaluate you, where there would be the representative from the university, from the experts would be there in the field, followed by the nominee of the sports council. So these seats would comprise the university sports admission committee, and at the same time, once that is done, the marks of your CUT exam, that is 25%, then certificate, the sports certificate 25%, and the sports trial comprises 50%, that would be added, and the combined sports merit would be drawn. And we subsequently will go for the seat allocation. For allocation of the seat, we have category 1, that is see admission without sports trial. So in that category, whoever is evaluated in the sports certificate as a direct admission, basically. So he would be given the preference in the list as on the in the merit list. Then there would be the C category B, C, D, where we'll have 25% of the highest CUT, then 25 of the certificate, and 50 of the your trial, and the merit list will be drawn, and the seat allocation will be done accordingly. So allocation will be done on the basis of the CSM ranking of the candidate, the preferred program and the college you have opted, and subsequently also the availability of the seats for a specific game in which you have opted for that college. Then there's certain important information for you. So once the marking of the sports certificate is uploaded on a dashboard, we would have a grievance period, and that grievance period is comprised for 3 days to register your grievances. At the same time, we will resolve your grievance. We'll have a mechanism through an email ID which will be displaying on your dashboard once we upload your marks on that. And the marks which have been given to you are been displayed on the on your portal are provisional and are subject to the final scrutiny and verification of the marks given by the committee, and the decision of the committee would be the final. At the same time, the candidate must be eligible to participate in the inter-university competition for the next 4 years and should not be employed on a full time basis anywhere. And during the sports trial, any injury, casualty caused to the candidate during sports trial should be the sole responsibility of the candidate. At the same time, once you are admitted, then you need to give undertaking at the time of admission, stating that the candidate will participate and practice for the college, and if selected, will represent the university in the sports competition as determined by the college or the university, and failing which the cancellation of admission would be there. And all admissions are provisional and subject to the forensic examination verification from the original uploaded sports certificate by the candidate. So giving any false information, fake certificate will amount to the cancellation of the admission, at the same time debarring the candidate for the next 3 years. And there would be also a strict legal action against the candidate. So very soon we'll be uploading the schedule of the sports trial. At the same time, when you appear for the sports trial, you are required to carry your a printout of your the application form. Along with that, you need to carry with you the any of the identity proof which has been recognized by the government of India. At the same time, the parents or guardians are not allowed inside the venue of the sports trial. And we'll also give the instructions in the schedule what you need to carry and how the sports trial will carry forward. And during the trials, you're required to appear in a proper dress, and you are also required to report of time, report at time specified in the schedule, and at least half an hour before the start of the sports trial. Thank you very much. Over to Anand, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the valuable inputs. Now, I would like to request Professor Deepti Taneja to apprise the students about the ECA trials, and I think I'll take up the questions at the end. Over to you, Taneja, ma'am.
Right, sir. So I'll be sharing the PPT and then I'll be discussing it along with this. Thank you so much, Anandji. Thank you so much, Kalkalji. I will just begin with screen sharing. Kalkal sir, in case the screen would not be going ahead, please let me know and I will intervene in between. You can see the
Yeah.
PPT now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you can see it. Please carry on.
All right, thank you. Okay. So this is what I had presented in the last PPT as well. This is just the starting point of this one so that you are aware as to till what step we have reached and what we'll be taking ahead. As Kalkalji has already mentioned that now is the process from the trial onto the allocation part. So we'll not be touching the parts before that because you've already been apprised of that and that stage is anyway over for all of you. So here you were supposed to apply under the ECA admissions. This time we had opened the same, the availability of the same during the correction window as well. Then you were supposed to upload the 5 best certificates, out of which the 3 had to be or will be evaluated now by the respective committees for each of the ECA category, and all 5 in case of NCC and NSS. Please remember and note here that the candidates who do not have the valid certificates, valid means I have been getting a number of questions asking me what does it mean by the valid certificates. The years and the time period between which the certificates had to be uploaded, the 3-year window period from 21 to 24 has already been provided to you. So valid certificate means these number one, that the certificates during this time period and also as per the different criteria, criteria A, B, C, and D that were given in the CSAS brochure. If your certificates are not in that valid format, they will not be considered as valid certificates. So the candidates without valid certificates will not be eligible to give trials. It is a prerequisite. It's not a filtering criteria. That is, unlike sports, we do not keep that as a shortlisting mechanism. But then having these certificates is a mandatory requirement to be eligible for the ECA trials and allocation through the ECA quota. Then yesterday, as you must have seen on the website, coming on to the third step now, we have already uploaded the trial schedule instructions and the venues that have been made available. Now, this is a tentative trial schedule, you can say. I would not say the word tentative here because this is anyway going to be the range in which various categories will be holding their trials. But I'm using the word tentative here because they are not yet in the individual you can say for, roll number wise or form wise or CUET registration number wise. The data has been sent to us yesterday, and accordingly now we will be putting up, we will in the ECA committee. I do not know when sir would be doing that for sports. When I say I'm talking about the ECA committee as a whole. We would be putting up the schedule individual registration number wise. Shortly, maybe by tomorrow, it should be up on the website. Again, it is being mentioned here that no individual intimation will be sent for this because we are getting queries here also asking that we have not been informed whether we are supposed to report, when we are supposed to report. You will not be informed individually. You will have to report at the center as per the broad schedule that will be intimated, the range of which has already been given on the website. For NCC and NSS, the marks shall reflect on the dashboard and the grievance will have to be filled in the given time frame. That time frame has also been mentioned there. I'll come on to that again as well. And then the allocations will be available on your dashboard as per the published schedule. The schedule will be has already been published and details will also be published shortly by the admission branch. So everything will be followed as per the timelines that have been mentioned to the candidates at various points in time. Then coming on to the main points that have to be noted or the general instructions. These have all already been uploaded, but still certain important ones I would like to bring to your notice. There have been around 11,700 ECA registrations, almost numbering up to 12,000 this year, which means that the competition is tough and we also have to manage this larger number. So expecting individual intimations is absolutely not something that can be done in the given time frames. The trials will start on the 12th of August and they go up to the 24th of August. The trial date range, as I mentioned, has already been given. So the outstation students are advised to plan their travel accordingly. I've been getting certain queries about their individual dates as well. I'll just come on to that. So the detailed date-wise and time slot-wise list of candidates shall be uploaded, as I mentioned, hopefully by tomorrow. And again, it is important here because last year we had been getting queries that my registration number was missing. You will not have, just imagine, to upload 12,000 registration numbers and their individual date and time slot is absolutely not possible, or humanly it's not feasible to do it. So it will have a range of registration numbers that from so and so number to so and so number is supposed to report on this date at this time. So it will have a range of the registration numbers. You're please supposed to see your registration number in the slot in which it falls and then report accordingly. Then now here, since outstation queries have been coming a lot from the outstation students, it is important here to know that say once you get your individual schedule, then only would you know. Right now also I've started getting that minus from 12th to 24th, kindly schedule it on 24th, kindly schedule it on 12th. That is not possible. Let us just wait for your individual date-wise slot to be uploaded. So if say you have applied under 3 ECA categories and your trial dates are coming as 12th, 16th and 24th, where if say 16th is the trial date for say category like the creative writing, where we have only one time slot available, only one time date available, that category will not be changed under any circumstances. But when other, if it is possible to have others, say if it's a range being given, then only from within the range the change shall be possible. So if the range only goes from 21st to 24th, then if you ask me to please schedule it on either 20th or on say 25th, that is not possible. It will only be, the change will only be possible from only among the dates given for a particular category. And it is again requested to the candidates to please see your individual schedule before putting up such requests and queries. Then once you will be sending such a mail, it is requested to clearly mention your CUET number so that we can ascertain, because we have all your details in your registration data, whether you actually are an outstation candidate or not. So please mention your CUET number so that we can verify that yes, you actually need to travel to Delhi. So this change should be allowed for you. And also mention all ECA categories. We get mails with limited information that please change this and this to that and that we will not entertain unless we really know that why are you warranting that change. So please mention all the details, and so that the ECA admission committee can look for a possible feasible change for you. Then a mail intimating the same. If in case it is not possible, then also you will be intimated about it. If in case it is being possible and it is being shifted to another date, the same shall also be intimated to you. And it will also be marked to your respective nodal center. So if say it's a Ramjas College that we're talking about, or say Mata Sundari College that we're talking about, the mail would also be marked to that respective ECA nodal center for the concerned person also to take note that instead of say 23rd, you are going to report on the 20th, so that no walk-in request for change of date of trials shall be entertained. So if you just think I have landed in Delhi, let me go to the respective center, or something has happened, let me go to the center and let me talk to them, please take my trials today. We are sorry, we are not going to do that, because the schedule day-wise has been put up and a number of stakeholders are involved. So please, you have to first write to the eca@admission.du.ac.in, this website email address which is given here. And then only once you've been intimated that the change has been made and the nodal center will also be accordingly intimated, then only will this change be entertained. Then continuing with this, the candidates may also be telephonically informed by the officials of the ECA center that the dates will not be changed, but they may request you to please come at an earlier time slot or maybe at a later time slot. As you know, this is an human exercise involving a number of stakeholders. Say if on a given date, due to any circumstance, the lesser number of candidates have turned up, or almost if 100% attendance is there, then they may prepone or advance or postpone your time slot. But we will not change the date so that the outstation candidates may not worry that this is happening. And then also, in case it is not possible for you to report at an earlier time that has been given to you by the convener or anybody from the nodal center, then you will still be entertained at the time that was originally allocated to you. So do not panic. Do not think those calls to be fake. It's very unlikely that you will be made such a call, but in case they do come, then please act accordingly. That is why we are pre-intimating you through this webinar. Then another reason why this date of trial may be changed, which is the second circumstance, which is only when there is a clash of date. So say if there is there's a candidate who has been allocated because there is a range for almost all categories except quiz and creative writing. So if in case you are also appearing for music vocal, which say falls on 22nd, your music instrumental also as per your registration number falls on 22nd, then please again mention all the details, the dates of all the categories that you're coming in, your CU at registration number for us to verify that you're actually a stakeholder for different categories, and then the possible schedule change which you can want, which is possible also as per the schedule range which has been given to you. Again, you're supposed to mail to the same email ID and the same process shall be followed. You shall be intimated along with the nodal center being intimated. No other reason besides this clash and travel plans for the outstation candidates shall be entertained for the date change. So I have missed my given trial schedule. I could not report. I could not see. I was not personally intimated. I was unwell. My instruments were not available. No such excuse will be entertained for a change of the date of the trials. Then it is also assumed, because we have been getting certain queries also, that I am a candidate for so-and-so category, but no college has been intimated. So maybe I can change my category from Sitar to Santur or anything of that sort. No, if there is no seat being offered by a given college for the ECA category that you have applied in, the candidate shall not be considered for allocation, even if inadvertently, though we are taking all precautions that your trials should also not be taken. But as I said, it's a huge number that we are involved with. If in case you still have been allowed to give trials, you cannot stake a claim to any seat on any ECA category which has not been offered by any college. So the ECA category wise seat matrix has also been uploaded for you to say, where it is clearly mentioned no seat offered under this category, no seat offered by any college. So please, you cannot stake claim. Report for the trial only if any seat has been offered by the college of your choice. Otherwise, it makes no sense to come for the trials. Then this is already been uploaded yesterday, as I mentioned. So I'll very quickly take you through this gist. So these were the main points, the main pointers that I had talked about. Before I go on to that, the detail of each category-wise instructions, it's not possible to take all of those 12 categories where physical trials are involved at this point here. They have all been uploaded, very clearly uploaded, where accompanists are allowed, where accompanists are not allowed, which all kind of instruments are allowed, what all kind of songs, tracks, if it involves dance category, what all is involved, what all is possible. All that has been uploaded in the individual category-wise instructions. You are requested to please look at it and then report for your trials accordingly. Then the category-wise details that I was talking about. So for creative writing, we have Hansraj. Now here, the request for change will not be entertained. Your time-wise slot, of course, will be intimated that this and this registration to this and this, or for Hindi and English, at what time slot you're supposed to report on 16th of August. And similarly, for dance debate, there's a whole range being given to you. Then for quiz, as you can see, test is on 20th August. We have deliberately kept creative writing and quiz on different dates because we do realize that the candidates may be applying in one category as creative writing as also in the quiz, because they come under the literary category of AIU. So that is why they have been kept on separate days. No request for change of date of these two categories will be entertained. Then the NSS and NCC grievance window shall only be open between 20th to 22nd August. The entire form will have details of how do you fill up the grievance window. Before that, on 19th or on 20th morning, hopefully by 19th evening, because we've got a huge number in both NCC and NSS, the scores, all category-wise, ECA criteria-wise scores will be uploaded on the University of Delhi admission website. For this, you will not be intimated on your individual dashboard. That is at least the plan of things as of now. They will be uploaded on the University of Delhi admission website. Please check up your score, because you also have your entire marking scheme before you in the CSAS document. In case you feel that you have been awarded lesser marks than what you deserve, you please put up the query in the grievance window, clearly stating why you think a higher mark should be awarded to you. As clear as you will be in your grievance, the easier it will be for the concerned officer to address the same. So only during this window period will the grievance redressal form be open. So any query after that, physically coming to the office that no, please, I forgot, I missed, I was out, I was not in the coverage range, my internet was not working for 3 whole days, internet not working is a very unlikely situation. So please plan yourselves accordingly that from 20th to 22nd, the NCC NSS grievance window shall be open. This grievance window will not be available for any other category besides NCC and NSS, because for the trial component marks, the 60 marks, the discretion of the judges is final. You anyway do not have any right to raise a grievance there. And for the certificate evaluation, you will be countersigning your marks at the trial venue itself, which was already intimated to you in the previous webinar that was held on the ECA categories. So for them, when you're anyway countersigning your marks there, you cannot come back and request for a grievance window or an entertainment of the change of marks in the certificates later on. Then, as has been already mentioned in the CSA's brochure, so very quickly I'll take you through this. The CM, which is the combined ECA merit, will be based on the 25% of your CUET score and 75% of your ECA score. We have been getting queries कि ये कैसे calculate होगा, हमारा CET score तो 800 में से है, 650 में से है, and all such queries. So you have all learned the process of somebody has been asking me, will you normalize? No, at University of Delhi, we do not normalize any score. We do not touch with your scores. You all have learned the unitary method in your lower class maths. We only adopt that unitary method. So whatever has been marked out of 800, 650, whatever, it will all be taken as the base of 25. And the ECS score will be out of 75. So combining these two will be getting the score out of 100. Or we may adopt the opposite method. We may scale up rather than scaling down. So the ECS score, which is out of 75, that may be graded up to 800. And all your CUET scores may be graded up to 800. So that will be your marks out of 1600. So whatever be the nomenclature or the methodology adopted, we will not be normalizing anything. We will only be adopting the unitary method to arrive at the uniform CEM score, which will be used to prepare your merit. So at this point, we get a number of queries कि मेरी friend का या मेरे acquaintance का तो मेरे से कम ECA score था, लेकिन उसको मुझसे better college allocate हो गया है. See, it's not just about the ECA score. It also has to do about your CUET score. So if your difference of ECA score is only of 1 mark, but your friend or your acquaintance makes up for that in the CUET score by say 2 to 3 marks, then obviously that candidate will be placed higher up in the merit ranking than you would be placed at. So please don't discuss things or write up queries in isolation. Consider the entire picture in totality before you draw up any conclusion that something unfair has happened to you, because every candidate starts feeling at a point of time that I have been dealt with unfairly. Believe me, everything is being done in a very transparent, in a very fair manner. We are totally equitable. All candidates are equal for us. We are not, no biases are involved at any point in time here. For the NCC and the NSS, the ECA scores of only 75 marks are considered. There is no physical trial component. Same way for them also, the CM will be drawn up, where again, please consider because last year we did have queries wherein the screenshots of the NCC and the NSS scores were sent to us saying that, look at this, the NCC score of this candidate was lower than me. Still the college has been allocated, which was higher up in my preference ranking. How can this be? It is being done unfairly, because it takes you a minute to immediately allege that it is being done unfairly. Please do not write such mails. Please consider things in totality. Again, as I said, the CUET score might have been higher, might have been, or must. It would definitely have been higher if you think that a college which was higher up in your ranking has been awarded to somebody who was, say, featuring lower in the ECA score. So you are not aware of the entire situation of the candidate, the other candidate. You are not aware of their CUET scores. So please be aware of the total picture. That is how the CM ranking, the merit ranking is drawn up for the ECA category as also for the sports category. Then coming on to the seat allocation, as I just said, it will be 25% of your highest program specific CUET score and 75% of your highest ECA score. Then additionally, the candidate must have scored at least 30 marks out of the 75 in the given ECA category to be considered for the admission in the particular ECA category. Then again, the allocations will be followed in the same manner as is being done for the general admissions, that your ranking then your preferences, and then the availability of seats is what is going to determine whether you will be allocated a particular ECA seat in a particular college. And candidates who have not opted for ECA seats, it will be only once you opt for the ECA seats, they will have to accept that seat to be considered for upgradation, if any, that the ECA category brings out with. Regular procedure for upgrading and freezing shall be here. Now, with all humility at my command, I am borrowing, I have used this slide which has been borrowed from the Dean Admissions press conference presentation, because the allocation process is the same and we are getting a number of queries regarding that. So I will just address that before I close my session here. So just as you do for your any other allocation, let's call that the general allocation. So same goes for the ECA category as well. If you do not accept it, then it may get rejected or it may get approved. If you do not do any action, then that means you are not willing to accept the offer of the ECA seat that has been made to you. Now, at this point, what it means is this point here, that you will not be considered for subsequent allocations here it will be for the ECA rounds. What this means is that आपकी general की seat जो आपको दे रखी है, वो आपके पास रहेगी if you do not accept the ECA seat that has been allocated to you. आप लोग जनरल की अपग्रेड एंड सब्सिक्वेंट राउंड्स में एप्लीकेबल रहोगे, रेगुलर राउंड्स जो हैं, लेकिन आप उस सुपर न्यूमररी ECA की एलोकेशन से बाहर हो जाओगे. Similarly, if you accept the ECA allocation, now look, what is the situation under which, because most of the queries are coming on this aspect only. See, what is the situation under which you will be accepting the ECA allocation? Say you have given your 20 preferences. Up to the time the ECA allocation is announced, you would have been given your general allocation, or let us assume that you have not been given. So here we are taking the case that you have been allocated something. So say in the regular rounds, you have been allocated up to your 12th preference, which means the top 11 preferences are still available for you where you have preferred them. ECA is not going to be looking at what you have been allocated in the general list. So you may get a college which is among your 1 to 11 or your 12th itself, or maybe which is lower down from the 12th. So in that case, if it is 12th or below 12th, obviously you are not going to accept that, because you have been allocated something better, as we call it Pareto optimality, in the situation through the general regular rounds. Now, in that case, you will be out of the ECA allocation process, but you will continue to be in the regular allocation rounds. But you will be accepting, now let us come on to the case, you will be accepting the ECA allocation, which means you have been allocated a college through ECA, which is among your top 1 to 11. Now, which is what means is that you have been allocated better than what you were allocated earlier. So you have chosen that thing. Now, if you're out of the general allocations, but you have anyway been allocated better, you will be applicable for the upgrades in the ECA category. So if you choose to have an upgrade here, it will only be from among the colleges which are offering your category seat in the preference list that you have drawn up. So please carefully choose what you have to do at this stage. There should be no confusion in any candidate's mind, whether I'll be considered for the regular round as well, if I choose the ECA seat, whether if I choose the ECA seat, my regular admission will be retained. No, it will not be retained. Your regular admission will be dropped. Then only will your ECA allocation be, once you have accepted it, the general allocation, you will be out of that. So same goes for the upgrade option also. Again, I have borrowed it from the Dean Admissions presentation. I am extremely thankful to you for that, ma'am. So here again, if it has been taken as in, if you take an upgrade, then you will be upgraded in the ECA category alone, not appearing, not taking up, accepting the word as accept. The ECA allocation would not make you fall out of the general rounds that are being done by the admission branch. All allocations are independent of each other. So coming on to the common FAQs before I close my presentation. Now here, if I choose accept, this is what I have just mentioned and I'm repeating it here, that if I choose to accept my ECA allocation, will I be considered for upgrade in the general or regular rounds, whatever the nomenclature that the admission branch uses? No, in that case, as I just mentioned, if you choose to accept a seat in the given supernumerary quota, you shall be considered for upgrades only in that supernumerary quota. Second point, second FAQ that we usually get is that I've already gotten my choice of college and program, which I just explained to you through the 12th preference that I talked about. Then what happens if I don't appear for trials for this or for any other reason for that matter? Then, as I just said, EC allocations are independent of your other allocations. If you do not appear for trials, you are not eligible for ECA allocations. But for all other allocations, for all other the regular rounds and the other supernumerary quotas you may or may not have applied through, you are eligible for all of that. Then, as I just mentioned, I do not accept my ECA allocation. What will happen? Just that you will not be considered for further upgradations in the ECA allocations. You will be considered for the general rounds, as has just been explained. And once I have taken admission, as sir also just specified and emphasized for the sports category, if you take admission on the basis of ECA, yes, you are obliged to take part in the given ECA activities and events for all 4 years of your undergrad college life. 4 years, 1 year, 2 years, since we are under the NEP, you may choose to exit, multiple exit options are there. So if you choose to exit at any point, till that time you're an undergrad student of the university, you're an undergrad student of the University of Delhi, you will be obliged to take part in the college and ECA activities of the university as and when called upon. So that was it from my side. I stop my share here. And I take it back to you, Anandji.
Thank you so much. So I would like to thank
Anand,
yes, sir.
Anand, I would like to clarify certain.
Yeah, sure, sir. Please go ahead.
As far as the as far as the sports trials are concerned, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Please go ahead.
As far as the sports trials are concerned, the tentative dates are will be starting on the 20th of August 2024. So as far as the sports trials are concerned, the tentative dates are from 20th of August 24. We'll shortly upload the detail of the schedule on the due admission portal.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So I think it was a very elaborate presentation which was given by Professor Teneja, and she had also taken a lot of frequently asked questions which were there. So although she has already mentioned, but one thing I would like to tell you that when you are making your preference list, as Professor Taneja has also mentioned, that please look at the colleges that what are they offering in ECA. It's sometimes it happens that you are desiring for some program, but that is not being offered by a particular college. So that has to be ensured, I think, and I think the same goes for sports admissions also. And there is just one thing which I would like to tell you, that if you have been allocated your first preference in round one, I think then there is no point waiting for sports and EC allocation, because you can't go higher than that. So if you already get your first preference, you can be just seeking admission from that category, and you can pay your fees. So although a lot has been clarified, but there are just few questions. I'll just take it up quickly. One was about NSS and NCC. So although you have already mentioned that there'll be no trials, but then I think still there is some confusion that how are you going to make the list then? So if you can clarify.
Yeah, thank you, Anandji. As has been mentioned in the CSAS brochure as well, there is a given specific criteria where there are criteria criteria A, B, C, D, E, which have been specified. Now I'm not sharing the document again. CSAS brochure has that very pointed out that how would you be given marks under the NCC category as well as under the NSS category. So on your end, based on the certificates that you have uploaded, you can tentatively calculate how much marks would you get out of 75. Now, the ECA evaluating team would be doing that for your certificates, which you have already uploaded. So say in your calculation, you have thought that it should be a 60 marks out of 75, whereas the committee has given you, say, an award of 55 marks. Then please upload it on the grievance window, which I just mentioned will be open, that according to this and this criteria, I should be getting these many marks, but I have been given lesser marks. which is again a very unlikely situation because the committee is also looking very carefully at the certificates. But if in case there is there, that is why the grievance window has been opened up. So you put up a query in that given time frame, and the branch will address that whether there should be a change or not. Same goes for NSS as well, that the criteria has been clearly uploaded. And then, as I just explained, 25% marks will be taken up from your CUET score, 75% from your this NCC or NSS score. The merit list will be drawn up and allocations will be made as per the allocation rules that have been explained.
And then there is one more question I think Anil sir would also like to answer, that it's about the numbers on the number on the certificate, that we insist that certificate has to be serial number. So if there are certificates without number, can they be considered, or will you be considering them for both sports and ECA? I would like to elaborate.
So as far the number is concerned, we don't go too much into that. Only the authenticity of that certificate along with the column needs to be filled. That should not be blank. There should be no overwriting. There should not be cutting. But as far as the serial number is concerned, we don't go too much into that. We see the authenticity of the sports certificate.
And sir, you also mentioned that you also will be going for their forensic examination, so that you are authenticating. Yeah. And what about you, Deepti ma'am? Serial numbers?
Same criteria, sir. Same.
Okay. So there is one more frequent query, that if they have applied under sports and ECA, but they miss out on appearing on the trials, will they still be considered?
As far as sports is concerned, it is mandatory to appear in the sports trial because the component of the marks is 50% of the total component. So it is a must to appear in the sports trial.
So similarly for ECA also, except NCC and NSS, for all the other categories where trials component is there, as I just mentioned, that 30 marks is mandatory to be earned out of 75 to be eligible for that ECA category. So the certificate mark is only 15 marks. So even if you get 15 on 15 in those certificates, you will still not be eligible. So by not appearing in the trials, you will not be eligible for ECA allocations.
The crux is that they have to mandatorily appear in the trials, otherwise they will.
And I would like to add also in sports also.
Yes,
see, out
sir.
of 400, you need to get 200 marks to be eligible for the further process.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Mandatory to appear in the sports trial in sports.
Yeah. And one more thing which has been frequently asked by the student is about, do they get to know that which certificate has been considered and which has not been, out of the total certificates which they upload on the portal? Like, do we display it on the website or somewhere that which considered? Yes, sir.
In sports, what we do, see, we only display the highest marks being awarded to that student. If a student has uploaded certificates in that, so as per the marking chart, he or she can judge from the criteria as per the marking given, and we only display the highest marks because of the highest marks is been added to the marks of the CUT and the C trials. So we only display the highest marks. But if they have any grievance in related to any of the certificates, they can always revert back to the grievance email and we redress that.
So for ECA also they do come to know? Okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. For ECA also they do come to know, because in any case they are going to countersign on the marks there.
Okay. So this also they have to take care that, whenever they are coming for the trial, they will be shown the marks and they must sign it.
Yes.
So I think one more question you have already taken it up, but they're still asking about, the venues when they will be notified. Is the detail available on the website from where they can check?
Dipti, I'll answer first.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. As far as the schedule is concerned, we'll upload that where the venue along with the date and time, and along with the game and spot will be communicated through that schedule to all the candidates. That will be given on the due portal website, and we'll use all the resources for the wider publicity.
So, so it's an advisory from your side that they should keep checking the website on regular intervals to see what is the schedule which has been posted. Yeah. Deepti ma'am, same.
Same. We have anyway uploaded the range as well as the venues. the candidate wise list will be uploaded shortly. Plus, but it is anyway, it's like the Lakshman Rekha जिसको कहते हैं, रोज सोने से पहले उठने के बाद एक बार वेबसाइट एंड पोर्टल चेक कर लें.
I think that's a good advisory for all of them. Okay, I think that is
Anand,
yes.
so Anand, I would like to add in the next a day or two, we'll also upload the schedule of sports on the website.
Okay. So thank you so much. So before we close in, I would just like to give a, again, a reminder to the students that today 5 p.m. is the last date to save your preferences. Please add whatever you wish to add, because at later stages, you will not be able to delete or add any of the preferences. Of course, you will be given a chance to reorder it at a later stage also. But if you wish to add or delete some of your preferences, please do it now. You have already been apprised by these sports and ECA conveners that what are the facilities available and what are the games available. So in just in case you want to change something, please do it now. So all the very best. And before I close in, I would like to thank Professor Kalkal and Professor Taneja. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Students, if you have any other query, you can write it to us at ug@admission.du.ac.in. We also have our helpline and the chat bot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.